Congratulations, you have become a federal employee, and with that, you have a TSP account. So let's get started on discussing what is the TSP account. Well, this was started back in 1986, okay, by the Federal Employee Retirement System Act, aka FERS, FERS. This is the government's version of the 401k. Now, what that means to you is that this is a contribution plan. The more you give to this plan throughout your career, the more it's going to be able to give to you at the end of your career. It's really that simple. They're looking to give you, now listen, they're looking to give you 5%. So if you put your TSP withdrawal to 5%, they will match you. So instead of you just giving 5%, you're actually giving 5 and getting 5 equaling 10. That is a good deal. Now, here's the thing. It's great to understand what this essentially is. You give, and then at the end, you get. But here it is, a breakdown of the funds that will help you get more at the end of your career. You have 5 funds, okay? We're going to go through each one of them, and then we're going to talk about the L fund, which is a life cycle fund. So in the beginning, it was the G fund. This was the original only fund that they had. And this one is based off of the U.S. Treasury Bonds. Now, this fund is very safe, very low risk, but you have to remember your money stays in here if you do nothing to your TSP. So if you never go in and change it, your money will always be here, meaning it will have the least exposure to the actual stock market. And if you want to make more money, you have to get your money exposed to the stock market. Now, one of the ways you can do that, other than Treasury bonds, which is very low risk, you can go with the F fund. Now, the F fund is going to be off of the bond index. So here are some power words that you need to start paying attention to because you are an investor. All right. When you joined the government, you also became an investor. Now you can start thinking of U.S. Treasuries, the bond market. We're going to talk about 2 more things that you're actually going to be paying attention to as well. Now, this is a medium risk, okay, fund. It will give you some good returns, but we have one that's going to give you some better returns as well. And here's the thing. So far, we talked about what the treasuries can do, what the bond can do, but here's the one that everybody likes, the C fund. This one is going to be talking about the S&P 500. Now, out of the 5 funds, this one has historically given the best returns out of all 5 funds. This is a medium risk fund, but it will give you exposure to the S&P 500, which are the top 500 companies in the US. This fund is really, really good, but it will have pullbacks. When they do have pullbacks, it's a good time to look at to when you would like to reallocate your funds into the C or the following, the S fund. Now, with the S fund, this will give you exposure to the Dow Jones Industrial. This is another big, big fund in America. Okay, this will give you medium to high risk exposure. All right, so this will give you some really good returns, just like the C fund. This fund, the S fund, is rated at the second best of the 5 TSP funds. So the S&P 500 or C fund is number 1 with returns historically. The Dow Jones Industrial, aka the S fund, is second best historically. Now you have one more fund that you have to learn about, and that is the I fund. Now in the I fund, this is a combination of 21 of the top companies from Europe, Asia, and Australia. Essentially, it is 16 companies that are the top companies in Europe and 5 companies which are the top companies in Asia and Australia. This is your exposure to the international world of business. Looking to see what the I fund actually offers you because it is a high risk fund, but it can give you some really good returns when it is on a bull run or going up. Now, that's not the only thing you have at your disposal. So these are all funds that you can control when you go into your TSP account. You can manage them yourself, or you can use an L fund. So the L funds are essentially life cycles. You would pick a date and they go from about 2030, 2040, 2050, 2060. Now, with that being said, your L fund will do something for you that you don't have to do. Every 3 months, it will reallocate the funds in it automatically to shift from high risk to low risk when it gets closer to its expiration. So here's an example. Remember, every 3 months or every quarter, it's going to say, I need to make more money up until a certain date. So if you pick the 2030 expiration date, around 2028 or maybe 2027, the life cycle fund will automatically take your money out of high risk and put it into low risk to make sure your capital is not exposed to any drawdown or to make sure your money stays safe. So that's what the L fund can do for you. Another thing that the L fund will do is that every day, okay, so this is important, every day at the end of the day, the L fund will buy its targeted funds at its low and then look to sell them at their highs. And it does it every day. So essentially, it buy low and sell high. That's a great thing. Now, this is something if you don't want to manage your TSP on your own, or you're like, I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't care. All I know is I want to retire by a certain date. And if that's your plan, this can do it for you. Monitor your returns by doing your own due diligence or research to make sure this will be the right thing for you. Now, with that being said, what are the benefits of your TSP? Well, once again, you're a government employee, so that's great. But you can also do a couple other things. You could request a loan from your TSP, but I would strongly suggest that you make sure you have something that you really need to do, or you are buying something that will be an asset to you, meaning it will make money for you. So the reason being is this. Whatever money you take out of your TSP will no longer be able to work for you in your TSP. All right. So you're taking away your retirement working money. Okay. There's no money there to work for you that you've taken out. But when you pay yourself back, you will pay yourself back with interest. So it is something that you have to think about. Do you need to take the money out? And will you get a good return by paying yourself back? So that's something that you can think of. And the next thing is this. Congratulations on being a government employee. You've done a good job. Your TSP is here for you. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you're learning about it and you have, I don't know, make sure you've done your due diligence. Research. Keep learning about your TSP because things will change. So, congratulations again. And that is a brief summary of what the TSP is and what it may be able to do for you. Now, the last thing I will leave you with is please look up an article called TSP Millionaire. Okay. Literally, it will tell you how to become a millionaire by showing up to work every day. So that is for you. And I hope you do your due diligence on that. So congratulations again and thank you.